Chapter 1. How was Black History Month started? Before I discuss my vision for Black Future Month, I must first pay homage to Carter G. Woodson, the author of The Miseducation of the Negro and creator of Black History Month. Our ancestor, Mr. Woodson, was an outstanding intellectual who understood the importance of teaching Black/Negro history to his people. In 1926, Carter, along with the support from the Association of Study of Negro Life and History, facilitated the first Negro History Week. That's right. It started off as a week of intentional educational efforts by a group of individuals. They did not ask for permission, funding, or an official calendar week. They just did it. As the efforts and knowledge reached other places, schools and HBCU campuses began to organize their own Negro History Weeks. And by 1960s, during the Civil Rights era, the week turned into a powerful month. 50 years after the initial idea from Carter G. Woodson and other leaders, in 1976, President Gerald Ford became the first president to officially recognize Black History Month. And the rest is history. It is important to understand the grassroots beginnings of Black History Month and how recent in American history it has become normalized. It took the vision and dedication of a few to create this lasting culture we now see as a part of churches, schools, colleges, and even recognized internationally. It took them 50 years with no internet. How long will it take us to develop and solidify Black Future Month? Okay, activity time. And I'm going to try to do activities for each chapter. First activity, what are you waiting for permission to do or to achieve? What dream do you have? What goals have you set for yourself that you are waiting for some type of permission or some type of sign that you should or you are allowed to do it? Is it purchasing a house? Is it becoming the best partner, the best parent, the best student, the best sibling? What is it that you are waiting for permission to achieve? Write it down, take a mental note, talk about it with somebody. No more waiting. It's time to achieve. Chapter 2. What is Afrofuturism? Afrofuturism was made popular in almost a commercial term after the $1 billion success of the Black Panther movie. The term has been around since 1993, coined by Mark Deary. The basic definition of Afrofuturism is a cultural aesthetic, philosophy of science, and a philosophy of history that explores the developing intersection of African diaspora culture with technology. While this is a solid definition, it does not explore the intentional rejection of the status quo and the tint of activism involved in genuine Afrofuturism pieces. Afrofuturism lends an alternative look at the future and even history through an African diasporic lens, a lens that not only changes the point of view of the story, but it often shifts the power structure as well. Afrofuturism is an important lens or field of study because images and information are heavily influenced by a European paradigm. This paradigm or way of thinking places Europeans on top and African/Black bodies on bottom. This power structure is seen in the education given to our children, what art or artists are valued, the images of beauty portrayed in the media, and the way police interact with Black bodies. Afrofuturism flips the existing power structure on its head. Unfortunately, only through art mediums, not in real life. While Afrofuturism may not have any real-world implications yet, the creation of movies, books, comic books, and curriculum can mold the minds of our youth, creating a very powerful future. There is power in the paradigm. The way we see and interact with the world has direct impacts on our future. Black Future Month will bring the Afrofuturism lens to the forefront of our community's minds, shifting the paradigm to create a more powerful future for our descendants. Okay, for this chapter's activity, I want you to think about the lens of Afrofuturism. I want you to think about the lens of Afrofuturism for your personal future. When you think of your own future, when you think 20 years from now, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, tomorrow, when you see yourself completely in control, when you see yourself in a position of power over your own fate, over your own destiny, over your own future, what does that look like for you? Afrofuturism, yes, is in comics. Yes, it's in movies. But if we can take that imagination to our real life, what does it look like for you to be in complete control of your future? Chapter 3. Why? The first question from the opposition is always the looming why. I'm sure 50 years ago, when Black History Month was established, there was a cohort of individuals that asked this same question. Why does this group need an entire month to be celebrated and remembered? The obvious answer is because it is not natural to learn about Black history, and it certainly is not natural today to see Black people in the future. It is unfortunate that we must make conscious efforts to remember our history and to craft our future as an African diaspora. For other populations, it is very clear that they will be in the future, and sometimes clear that they will be controlling that future. My hope is that the construction of a Black Future Month will make it solidified for our upcoming generations that they have a future and that they themselves can be a part of crafting that future. According to the United States Census Bureau, in 2000, African Americans made up 12.9% of the U.S. population. By 2060, African Americans are projected to make up 17.9% of the population. As our population grows, we must ensure that future generations start off with a strong mind, body, and spirit. Imagine what a stronger, smarter, and more unified African American population could accomplish. What a more unified African diaspora population could accomplish. We do not need permission to create a Black Future Month. While it would be nice to have multiple times this momentous celebration of creativity and Afrofuturism, we do not need the masses for our own communities to celebrate our future. In the day of technology, the internet, and the ability to create custom calendars, we can create Black Future Month all on our own. This collection of essays or short book was created to draft a vision of what Black Future Month can look like and to start conversations around how to successfully roll out Black Future Month. There are some essays that have already been written, and there are some efforts from corporations to fold in Black Future Month into the already existing Black History Month, which we'll talk about later. In my experience working in higher education, consulting, and other fields with the youth, I have found there is a need for increased creativity and vision. It is my belief that crafting a successful Black Future Month will increase the long-term vision of not only our youth, but our community at large. If we are to be in the future, we must first visualize and see the future. Okay, as usual, activity time for chapter 3. This chapter was all about the why. The why for Black Future Month is to craft a successful and self-sufficient future for our youth and for future generations. That is the why for this month. But the collective why is also important. But the individual why, your personal why, feeds into the collective. So I want you to think about, what is your why? What is your mission? What is your purpose on this earth? It could be to become a doctor and to save people through medicine. It could be become a comic book designer and to, give a message through your art. It could be to be a teacher and teach the next generation. It can be a fashion person who expresses their Afrofuturism through fashion. What is your particular why? What is your purpose? And how can your individual purpose feed into the purpose of the collective? Chapter 4. Should it be in February? There have been corporations I will not name in this essay that have folded Black Future Month into the already existing Black History Month of February. Now, our people for years have already spoken our truth about having the shortest month celebrating the most oppressed people. It is my opinion that we should not try to pack in even more Black images into an already very short time frame. Instead, my vote or my decision would be to have Black Future Month during the summer months, either a June or July. That way the kids are out of school and Black Future Month is solely in the hands of the community, churches, and family unit. We should not rely on our educational systems, our public education systems, to continue to teach the images of Black history. While Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and Mae Jemison are beautiful historical figures in our Black history, we know the school system can do a better job at teaching our youth about the unsung heroes. In order to make sure that Black Future Month is executed the way it should be, to craft an actual melanated future for our youth, we must take control of the education and information distributed into this month. Many may question my decision on my approach to having it outside of February. They might think, why are you asking for 2 months? My response will calmly be, why not? Our ancestors have built this country. Our current people continue to build and lead the fields of entertainment, medicine, music, engineering, and business. Why not give the people who created this nation and were the first people on this planet 2 months out of the year? There is plenty of information that we can cover in Black history to cover 2 months, but we have packed the information into the shortest month of the year. My approach is to focus on what our Black future looks like. The future Black nation, the future businesses, the future education systems. Let's dedicate an entire month to the future vision of Black America. If this is done on any type of collective scale, we will begin to see the needle move more swiftly for our community than ever before, because we will reawaken our connective consciousness and our connected imagination. Dr. Martin Luther King led a generation of peaceful dreamers. The Black Panther Party led a generation of organized Black nationalists. The Black Lives Matter movement led a generation of viral social activists. Every generation has its cause. Every generation has its movement, its calling. What better cause than the future? Now, I want you to take a little second to think about when you believe Black Future Month should be established. What month of the year do you think works best? Some folks, the popular vote is probably, let's just do February. It may take too much effort to rebrand another month. We don't want to disrespect any other of the awareness months. So let's take February because that's already our space. But I challenge you as an African diaspora, as a Black leader, as a Black collective consciousness, I challenge us to take up space. I challenge us to move into other areas, and I challenge us to think outside of what has been given to us by the collective. What month would you choose for Black Future Month?